What's your favorite meal? I'm going to guess that whatever you just thought about has meat in it. As someone who was a vegetarian for 4 years, I'm an advocate for vegetarianism due to the benefits it provides for your health and the environment. If we all started incorporating less meat into our diet, not only would our bodies be happier, but the earth would be too. If you give vegetarianism a chance, you might even lose some weight. I know cutting meat out of your diet can sound daunting, so I'm going to walk you through the benefits and how you can do it. I'm sure you're thinking, how do I adjust to eating less meat? Well, going vegetarian doesn't mean you have to immediately cut meat out of your diet. Healthline.com mentions a few good options for people that are new to it. One way is to have a partial vegetarian diet. Some people are pescatarians, which means that they eat fish, but they don't eat any other meat. Other people are pollo vegetarians, which means that they eat poultry, but no other fish or meat. These are both good options for people who are just starting out or who have limited food options. Another option, if you don't feel comfortable completely cutting meat out, is to have a flexitarian diet, which according to healthline.com is a diet that includes mostly plant-based eating, but occasionally you'll eat meat. If you feel ready, then you can do what's best for your health and for the environment and completely cut meat out of your diet by replacing meat with meat alternatives and substitutes. I can't find vegetarian foods to eat, and vegetarian diets aren't healthy are excuses of the past now. The food industry is always coming out with new meat alternatives, and as a UCLA student, I've seen my fair share of vegetarian options, even affordable ones, in Los Angeles. Now's the easiest time to go vegetarian in California, and there's a whole section in the supermarket dedicated to affordable vegetarian options. In Los Angeles, there are almost always vegetarian options in restaurants and dining halls. If you do, for whatever reason, not have access to meat-free options, you can always have a flexitarian diet and only eat meat-free options on the days that you have access to them. According to Harvard Health, studies show that vegetarian diets are not lacking in nutrients, although that is what some old research showed. So as long as you eat nutritious, meat-free foods, a vegetarian diet is just as healthy. Speaking of nutrition, health issues caused by a poor diet are on the rise in the US. Vegetarianism can help prevent issues such as high cholesterol, high blood pressure, hypertension, and diabetes, according to WebMD. Vegetarians also, on average, have lower BMIs, which means that if you go vegetarian the right way, you might even lose some weight. According to the 1999 study by Key, Davy, and Appleby, vegetarians may also have a lower incidence of constipation, gallstones, and appendicitis. The study also found evidence that vegetarianism reduces the chance of death from ischemic heart disease and estimates that reducing meat intake could save thousands of lives that usually end due to ischemic heart disease deaths. Clearly, having meat in your diet could have some serious health consequences. If your health isn't enough of a reason to change your diet, then think of the environmental impact eating meat has. Climate change is a huge issue right now, and reducing your meat consumption is one thing you can do to help. According to downtoearth.org, the meat industry produces more greenhouse gases than cars and trucks. This means that if we all reduced the amount of meat in our diet, we would make a larger change than if we all switched to electric cars. Think about which change is easier, changing your car or changing your diet. Downtoearth.org mentions that going vegetarian would make the largest environmental difference with the least negative economic impact. So, if climate change isn't a pressing matter to you, animal waste is still producing nitrogen that is finding its way into our water system. This can cause algae blooms that kill fish. This is devastating when you think of the beautiful lakes and landscapes that are being destroyed by the pollution that's going into it. So vegetarianism is one step that's in the right direction towards ending climate change. Do you consider yourself an animal lover? Even if you are more of a cat or dog person, cows, pigs, and chickens are animals that are often subjected to horrible conditions when they're kept as livestock. According to the ASPCA, animals are commonly raised in factory farms where, due to the high populations, they live in poor conditions. These conditions include breeding for faster growth, housing in cramped cages, poor air quality, and reliance on antibiotics due to their stressful environment. You should care about this because your health can be affected by how these animals are raised. The overuse of antibiotics in animals is causing antibiotic resistance, and the unsanitary conditions animals are kept in exposes you to E. coli and salmonella when you consume animal products. As you can see, there are many benefits to reducing your meat consumption, from health to improving the environment. We should all start eating less meat because the benefits outweigh the inconvenience of changing our diets. Remember that meal I asked you about in the beginning? Does it still sound as good now?